Our next question is to find n Unix integers sum up to 0. Okay. So the question is, given an integer n, return any array containing n unique integers such that they add up to 0. So what they mean is, if you have been given with the number 5, you have to return an array which will have 5 digits whose sum will be 0. Means any 5 digits you can choose whose sum will be equal to 0. Okay. Suppose that n is equal to 3, means we can choose -1, 0 and 1 whose sum will be equal to 0. Okay. So the approach of my solution will be, suppose that the number which we have been given is 5. Okay. What we'll do first is, we have to create an array of the size 5. So here we'll have 5 elements. Okay. And which elements we can store so that the sum will be 0. First we'll store 0 in the middle, then -1, 1. So its sum is 0. Here we can store -2 and 2. So its sum will be 0. So this is a properly organized way of solving the problem, right? If you have been given with 7, what we'll do, we'll add 2 more spaces here, -3 and 3. In that way, we can get the answer for like any of the problem. Okay. And coming to even number of digits, in that suppose that 4 digits are there. Okay, means 4, the number 4 is given to us. We have to solve it in this way: minus 2, -1, 1 and 2. Here 0 will not come. The difference between 4 and 5 is, if it's odd, okay, if it's odd, that means in middle one 0 will come and rest of the things will be same. If it's even, the 0 will not be there. Okay, the remaining digits will be same. Okay, so first we'll check if it's even number or odd number. Based on that, we'll insert the 0 in the middle position. The index values of these are, if I make it here, like for 4 and 5. For 4 and 5, the index value will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and for 5 it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So if it's 5, how can I find out the middle element? Means the middle index. 5 by 2, right? 5 by 2 will give me 2, right? 5 by 2 is 2. So in second position I will insert as 0. Okay. And here what I will do is, in 4, the middle element, I don't have any middle element here, so I'll not do 5 by 2. But one thing I have to do, I have to store here from -2, right? -2, -1, then 1 and 2. What I'll do is, I'll do 4 by 2. Here I'll get as 2. I'll do it with multiply with -1, it will be -2. -2 I'll store here, then increment this one. That is -1. I'll store -1 here, increment 2 times. When it comes to middle position, since I don't have to store 0, I'll increment it 2 times. When I increment -1 2 times, I'll get 1, which I'll store here. Then I'll increment 1 time, 2. So this sum will also be 0. We have 4 elements. In the case of 5 by 2, I'll not increment. Means I'll not increment 2 times, since I have to store here 0. So I'll be starting from -2, 2 into -1, -2. That will be stored here. Then increment -1, increment 0, increment 1, increment 2. So this sum will also be equal to 0. Okay. So I'm starting from here. In answer, the array which will be returning, it will have n integers, the number n which is given to us, and first we'll be storing the value in x. Okay, x will be -1 into n by 2. If n is 5, 5. If n is 5, 5 by 2 is 2. 2 into -1 is -2. So x value will be stored here as -2. Then x will be incremented. For that, I am using a for loop here. If it's odd, okay, only if it's odd, n by n modulus 2 is not equal to 0, means if n is odd, at that time I have to start storing the values of x here. First -2, increment -1, increment 0, increment 1, increment 2. Okay, that's for the odd, in case the number is odd. Else, in case the number is even, I'll store the digits until it reaches n by 2. Okay, if it reaches n by 2, at that time I have to perform this condition. I'll add x with 1. So it will initially it's getting getting incremented by 1. But if it's even number, at that time, I mean if it reaches the middle element, like here, if it reaches the middle element, at that time I have to increment 2 times. So one is already done here, the second one will happen here. Okay, so here the answer will be incremented, and here I'll store as 1. Okay, that way the even number is also handled and the odd number is also handled. Okay, so let's try to run this program and see. So here I'm getting the correct answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next question is maximum subarray. Okay, so here we are given with an integer array nums. We have to find the contiguous subarray containing at least one number which has the largest sum and return its sum. Okay, suppose that this is the array. So the sum of -2 is -2, -2 and 1 is -1. Okay, -2 and 1 and -3 is -4. and if I do till here it will be 0. If I do till here it will be -1, and till here it will be 1. Like that we can keep on going. Okay, like that we have to calculate which is the means. It's not necessary that I should start from here. I can take any of the number here and I can have contiguous array till any other number, and that sum should be maximum, okay, among all the subarrays. How can I do that? See, start from here. Minus 2 means it's anyways less than 0. If I add -2 with some other element, it will obviously be lesser than if I take this element alone. What I mean is -2 plus 1, it's -1. It is less than just taking 1. So when I'm adding -2, I'm decreasing my sum. So whenever I have the sum as negative number, I should start from the next element fresh. Okay, so here I'll discard -2, I'll start from 1. 1 is the maximum sum as of now. Then I will do 1 minus 3. It will be a negative value, so I'll discard this whole value. Okay, because if I consider that value, it will anyway be less than 0. Then if I add something which is less than 0 to this one, it will become more less, right? Instead of that, I can take 4 alone, right? If I take 4 as alone, I'll get more value than taking 4 with 1 and -3. That will give me less than 4. Okay, so taking from 4, 4 minus 1 is 3, still 4 is the greater. 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 is greater. 5 plus 1 6, 6 is greater. Then 6 minus 5 is 1. Then 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so in that the maximum sum I got is this one, which is 6. So I'll return as 6. So here what I'm doing is, firstly I'm checking if all the digits are less than 0 or not. If all the digits are less than 0, means if all the numbers are negative, I have to return which is the greatest negative number. Okay, because in negative numbers, if all the numbers are negative, I can't apply this rule, which is the largest sum, because in that case anyway what answer I'll get is whichever the number which I have taken. Like suppose at maximum sum, if I took like this much, I'll get that sum only, right? So we can't use that one. So here I am checking all the numbers which are if they are negative, or even if single element is positive, I can take that single element which is the largest sum and return that one, right? So that is getting checked here. And if it means we have some negative as well as positive values, then we'll be running this loop. In this loop, what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing. I'm adding -2 in sum and I'm checking if it's less than 0, I'm initializing sum as 0. Then I'll be checking with maximum sum. Okay, I'll be storing maximum sum in another variable max sum. Okay, like that I will keep on doing. Whenever I get as negative, I'll make it as 0 and I'll start from the next one. And each whenever I make each check, I'll store that sum as the maximum sum. Okay, means it will be compared, then it will be stored. So finally I'll have the maximum sum. That was for the case when where I have negative as well as positive elements mixed. Okay, if I have all negative elements, in that case I'll return the which is the maximum negative element. Okay, like suppose -1, -2, -3, which is the most means greater element, -1, right? That I'm checking here and returning in maximum sum. Finally, I'll return maximum sum. Let's try to run this program. So it's showing a success. Okay, so it's the correct answer for this question. So let's move on to the next one. The next question is about reshaping the matrix. Okay, so we are given with a matrix here M cross N, and we have to reshape it in the size R cross C. Okay, so suppose that this is the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2 rows and 2 columns. We have to reshape it in the size 1 cross 4, means 1 row and 4 columns. These elements will be same. So basically what we'll be doing is we'll be converting this array into a 1D array, and we'll be taking each element and then we'll be storing in the required array. Okay, so this is the first we'll be checking if the given size and the original size of the array are same or not. Means 2 into 2 is equal to 4, 1 into 4 is equal to 4. If it's same, then we'll proceed, else we'll return match. Okay, and then what we will do is we'll convert that 2D array into 1D array, and then we'll be using the 1D array to store in the required size. Okay, since the required size is also 1D array, we'll return this value. Okay, so when we store this into 1D array, we'll get like this. Okay, suppose that we want to store like in four rows and one column. What we'll do is we'll use a double for loop here, in which we'll have 4 rows and one column. Each time we'll access one element and store in that. Then we'll increment the k value. We'll store in that. Then we'll do till the end. Okay. Finally, we'll have an array which will have 4 rows and one column. Okay. So let's run the program and see. So it's showing as success. So this is the code for the question. Okay.